Shalom to all of you. Toda Rabah. Thank you for joining me in this new video. For those that already watched the video that I uploaded yesterday, titled Important Update Reshit Katsir. Maybe you heard during this video that I said that our Abba already answered my prayers and your prayers, and he opened my eyes in order to understand about when Reshit Katsir has to be celebrated, and also understanding that is we were able to understand when Shavuot needs to be celebrated. But I also said something in addition, that I received something in addition to that, and it's basically a renewed understanding on YaHuWaH's Moedim. I decided to make this video here outdoor, just to enjoy a little bit the sun that is going down in a few hours here in Chile, to talk about this renewed understanding that somehow changed the point of view in very important things. This is something new for me, and I wanted to share with you. It's something that started to get around my heart and my mind 2 weeks ago, and finally during Shabbat and on Sunday as well, yesterday, I received the final confirmation from YaHuWaH that this understanding is in the right path. Before telling you what is it about, I would like to share with you first my kind of statement of belief regarding the Moedims of YaHuWaH. Number one, I do believe that the Moedims of YaHuWaH are his prophetic calendar, that he's revealing through his Moedim his restoration plan of humankind. Number two, I also do believe that the Moedim are foreshadows of things that will happen very soon, but at the same time are specific appointed times where important events in the past has happened. And number three, I also do believe that Yahushua HaMashiach has an important role in all of this plan, because through him everything is happening, because that was the prophetic word since Bereshit, because he is the promised seed that through him all nations will come back to YaHuWaH. So I wanted to make it clear for you what I do believe regarding the Moedims, because what I'm gonna share with you, it's very important. So what I have to tell you, what I have to share with you, what is this renewed understanding, is the following. YaHuWaH's Moedim are not about Yahushua. I'm going to repeat it again, and listen carefully, because this is very important. YaHuWaH's Moedim, his Moedim, are not about Yahushua HaMashiach. His Moedim are not about the bridegroom. His Moedim, YaHuWaH's Moedim, are about the bride. All his Moedim are about Israel. It's an important difference and a critical difference, because this changed our point of view in different aspects. Everything, all the plan that YaHuWaH is revealing to us through his Moedim are related to Israel. Everything is about Israel. It's not about Yahushua. And let me tell you my experience, just for you to understand what I'm sharing with you now. And please be with me. Don't take my words aside. Don't reject it. Please pray to YaHuWaH's. I'm always having telling you, He will guide you with the Ruach HaKodesh in the truth, and you will feel it here in your heart. So, you know, when I started this journey 5 years ago, approx, when YaHuWaH had compassion on me and took me by my hand and put me back in His way, but in a totally different way that I would never expected. You know, I started to learn about His Moedim, I started to learn about His Shabbat, about His Mishpatim, His entire Torah. And I was feeling in my heart that I was learning too many things and two new things that I really love it, and I still love it for sure. And I started to put in practice all of that, as the Torah and even YaHuWaH's always teaching us. And when I get in contact with His Moedim and starting to understand the amazing and the wonderful things of His Moedim, and how it is so related to the prophetic events that have been happening in the world, and it's going to happen very soon. I listened that YaHuWaH fulfilled all the spring feasts in His first coming, and that He's going to fulfill all the fall feast in His second coming. And I started to hear about how YaHuWaH is the Lamb of Elohim, He is our Pesach, and how He fulfilled the Had HaMatzot, how He fulfilled with the Ruach HaKodesh, Shavuot, and so on and so on. Even Reshit Katzir, how He fulfilled it with His resurrection. And you know, for me it was so amazing. It was a kind of mind-blowing situation that I feel it's so hard, so nice, and so wonderful in my heart, that I embraced it immediately, because everything matched, everything was amazing, everything was wonderful. But you know, I embraced it without testing it, under the light of the scriptures. I felt it in my heart so great, so wonderful, that I didn't think even in a minute to put everything under a test. And you know, isn't that the same problem and the same situation and the same thing that I was doing when I was in Christianity? Following religions, following traditions of men, following any teachings that I was receiving without testing it and without looking and searching for myself? My answer today is yes. I was doing exactly the same as the past. And I'm asking the same question for you, because most probably your journey was very similar to what I have described it to you just now. So, did you do the same than me? Did you test it? Because I didn't. And now I feel very grateful, because this understanding, this renewed understanding, is revealing more things about His plan for us. And you know, I cannot contain the emotion that I feel now in my heart, because this is nothing that we deserve. This is just because of the love that He has for us. You know, why it's important to understand this, and the difference that everything is related to Israel, not YaHuWaH, His Moedim. And I'm not saying that YaHuWaH is not important. We know only through Him we get access to the Father. But His Moedim are related to Israel, and we all know that YaHuWah says that he declared the end from the beginning. So if we understand and if we take a look on the beginning and the first, when everything started with the Moedim, the first Moedim, for example, Pesach. Let's take a look on the first Moedim, Pesach. What happened? Israel was in Egypt. There were slaves. And YaHuWah commanded Moshe to take a lamb in the 10th day of the first month. And they needed to sacrifice the lamb in the 14th day. We all know that, right? And what happened? They took the blood of the lamb and they put it in the doorpost. And that night the firstborn of Egypt died and the firstborn of Israel were rescued. So the question that I had in my mind and in my heart, and the same question that I'm asking you now, what was the focus of the first Pesach? Was the lamb and the sacrifice of the lamb? Or was the firstborn of Israel and how he rescued the firstborn of Israel? I have the answer is quite clear. The focus of Pesach was the ransom of the firstborn of Israel. And for sure everything was done through the lamb, because everything, all the Moedims, all the fulfillment that we as Israel are going to do for each one of the Moedims are through the lamb, are through Yahushua. But again, Yahushua is not the focus on the Moedim. It's not about him, it's about the bride, it's about Israel, as it happened in the first Pesach. It was about the firstborn of Israel. What about unleavened bread, Chachamatzot? Was it about the Malach YaHuWah that was leading Israel out of Egypt? Was about the Matzot, the leavened bread? Or was it about Israel leaving the leaven and Israel getting out of bondage and going out walking to his Elohim? It was about Israel getting out of bondage through the Malach YaHuWah. But again, it's about Israel. What about Shavuot? Is Shavuot, the focus of Shavuot was about the Torah? Was about the Malach YaHuWah giving the Torah to Moshe? Or was about Israel receiving the Torah? Was about Israel entering into the covenant with YaHuWah as his bride? It was about Israel accepting YaHuWah as his bridegroom and receiving his commandment and signing the covenant with him. Again, it's about Israel. You know, studying even Reshit Katsir, and I'm gonna go deeper in this topic when I had the chance to prepare the video for that. And also I'm gonna go deeper in this topic when I prepare the video about the death and resurrection of Yahushua HaMashiach. If we understand Reshit Katsir is all about the harvest. You know, it's the moment when the harvest of barley begins, and it lasts until Shavuot, until the harvest of the wheat is completed. So all this process, all this moment, all this time, all that time is regarding the harvest. And what Yahushua said about the harvest in all his parables, he said that he will send the reapers to take the wheat and get it to the storehouse. So again, and actually I want to read to you something that is in Hason, Revelations chapter 14. Verse 14, and it says the following: "And I looked and saw a white cloud, And sitting on the cloud was one like the son of Adam, having on his head a golden crown, and in his hand a sharp sickle. And another messenger came out of the dwelling place, crying with a loud voice to the one sitting on the cloud, "Send your sickle and reap, because the hour has come for you to reap, because the harvest of the earth is ripe." You see, it's everything about the harvest. It's everything about the crop. It's about the grain, about Israel, about the bride. And through who we are fulfilling this is through Yahushua HaMashiach, because through him everything is done. But his Moedim is the plan of Yahuwah for his bride. We are the one, the assembly, the bride of Yahuwah, we are the one that are gonna fulfill each one of his Moedim through Yahushua. It's not Yahushua the one that is gonna fulfill the Moedim. We, the bride, are the one that are gonna fulfill the Moedim through Yahushua. So, if we embrace the teaching that Yahushua already fulfilled the spring Moedim, and he's coming in his second coming to fulfill the fall Moedim, maybe we are losing the important aspect of the time and the season that Shaul talked about in 1 Thessalonians 5. That we know, the assembly, the bride, know the time and the season, because we are not in darkness, we are in the light. And we know when he's coming for us, because we know his prophetic calendar. We know every clue, every step that he's revealing to us for his bride about when he's doing everything. You know, if we, Israel, are the one fulfilling the Moedim, the spring Moedim are not yet fulfilled, because it was Israel the one that was ransomed. It was Israel in the past the one that came out of Egypt and went in this massive exodus to the promised land. It was Israel the one that received the Torah and the covenant in the wilderness, and was Israel the one, through the hand of Yahushua ben Nun, that came into the promised land. So it's the same Israel now that is going to happen in a second Exodus, that we are going to go out of the wilderness of the people in this massive second Exodus, that the first one is going to be so small that nobody is going to remember it. And we, through the hand of Yahushua HaMashiach, we are going to enter to the promised land. You know, as Shalom All said in Kohelet, in Ecclesiastes, that nothing new is under the sun. Everything that already passed is going to happen again. And that's that the Moedim of Yahuwah is all about. It's all about his people. It's all about the bride. It's all about how he's going to rescue us in the last days. So, listen to my words. YaHuWaH's Moedim are not about Yahushua. Yahushua didn't fulfill the Moedims. We, Israel, are the ones, the bride, the ones that are going to fulfill the Moedim through Yahushua, because only through him we have access to the Father again. But we are going to fulfill it. So, please, don't reject my words. Pray to our Yahuwah. He will reveal in your heart if what I'm telling you, what I'm sharing with you now, is the truth, and you will feel it here. You will feel it here. Believe me. And this is again so important, because it's changed everything about what's going to happen very soon, and how we, the bride, are going to fulfill his Moedim. Pray to Yahuwah, and I pray to you, and for me also for Yahuwah, that he can lead us and guide us in his truth. Please keep checking this channel. I'm doing all that I can in order to provide you with everything that I have learned and everything that I'm receiving from our Abba. I'm not perfect. I have several mistakes, I'm not more than you. Maybe I'm less than you. My only intention is to share with you what I'm receiving, what I know, what I have learned. Because I have this sense of urgency here in my heart that we need to spread the message, we need to share the message, because the time is short, and we need to come back to the truth, and we need to understand why He is doing everything so accelerated and what He wants from us. So, Toda again for listening to me, Toda for watching this video. Again, use my words as an input, but pray to YaHuWah, and He will tell you here in your heart what is His truth. Toda Rabah, and Shalom to all of you. Bye.